Welcome, New Zealand, to your favourite podcast on a Tuesday night. At least I hope so. But anyways, it's Kiwiradio.nz here, where we showcase independent, alternative and new music coming from Aotearoa, New Zealand. And this week we've got the Waxbirds. Joe and Pete are part of that group. You can check them out at thewaxbirds.com. A very harmonious acoustic duo that was born in the Yorkshire Valleys and now living and performing across the beautiful South Island of New Zealand. We have Joe and Pete joining us on the phone tonight, right now. Hello, Joe and Pete.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it all going?
Really good.
Wow, it's great to have you both here. Now it's great to have a duo on the phone. That doesn't happen often, but yeah, very exciting times. We've got 3 of your songs lined up on the DJ decks tonight, and we're going to tell the stories behind each song because we're all about the art of storytelling here at the podcast. But first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How is your
Thank
night
you for
going,
having us.
both of you?
Oh, pretty good so far.
Cruising.
Definitely hear that Yorkshire accent there, but definitely based in South Island of New Zealand. What's the weather like down there? Because I'm beaming from Auckland right now.
Getting cold.
Yeah, most mornings are super frosty, but yeah, once the sun comes out, it's not too bad.
Well, let's warm up the hour with some great tunes. And, well, tell us a little bit about your journey of becoming a duo. How did that all get started?
Oh, well, we've been together about, over 20 years now. I'm just going to turn that speaker off because...
Yeah, over 20 years.
Yeah,
Cool,
we
cool.
always intended on playing music together. But everything got in the way, obviously. We had a couple of businesses back in the UK and had kids. So when we moved out to New Zealand and the pandemic hit, we sort of decided to knuckle down and get some stuff written.
Did that trickle into, like, the events of those years? Did that trickle into your music too? Lockdown music, as they call it?
No, I don't think so. I think it just kind of gave us the space to sort of just do that. We kind of use music as we do a lot of sort of third party reflection on ourselves and on lives around us and things like that.
Awesome. Well, Joe and Pete, get comfortable for the hour as, we introduce your music to the world, essentially. If you are tuning in right now to the radio station, we are simulcast on Kiwiradio.nz as well as upfm.co.nz. That's a 2-for-1-er. But also, we'd love to see you in the chat room over on YouTube. Find the channel using @KiwiRadio.nz. Well, let's go and get started with co-parent. You mentioned you had a child together. Tell us about this one.
Well, we actually have 2 kids together, but I'll let Pete tell Pete tell the story behind this one.
Yeah. This one's more of one of those sort of third party reflections on, again, families and like our sisters, all of our sisters, and sort of the delicate balance of raising kids together with partners that you're not with anymore. But they're also somebody that you obviously liked at one point. So you've kind of got where you butt up against each other, but also a bit cheeky as well. So it's kind of got a bit of a reflection of that in it.
We should probably also ask, who plays what instrument?
I play guitar and sort of just all the other little bits on top. I've got some friends that help with drums and that on this one.
And Joe, you're the singer then?
Yes, yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's get started with some music because that's a nice way to ease in. And yeah, let's go. Kiwiradio.nz.
Oh.
Yes. You're going to say something?
No, sorry.
All right, let's go with the tunes. Yeah, this is Co-Parent by the Waxbirds. Go check them out on their website, thewaxbirds.com. You're locked into Kiwi Radio with Ralphie and Joe and Pete.
Feels different, doesn't it? Like we're strangers when we meet. But I know when you look at her, you think she looks a little like me.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? To close your eyes and never fall. You say you really care, but never answer when I call.
Let's keep this conversation going. You feel better by this spring.
If you say you'll come back home, I might just let you in.
Did you really picture this? Ever going anywhere? You tell your friends I'm never home while I'm tying up her hair.
You wear the halo of a saint for just a minute of the day. But if I didn't bite my tongue, things would never be the same.
Let's keep this conversation going. You feel better by this spring.
If you say you'll come back home, I might just let you in.
Remembering that she
Is our priority. Find comfort in the loneliest of nights. We know we got it
Beautiful music there by the Waxbirds. You will catch them enchanting audiences throughout Canterbury and West Coast.
you feel better by this spring.
If you say you'll come back home, I might just let you in.
Yep, thewaxbirds.com. Thewaxbirds.com. Go check out their music. It's all there. And Pete writes a lovely bio there as well, saying that for him, recording music at home is about putting it out there, more about documenting the work and telling the story of their own personal journey, sharing their feelings and passions, and not letting the art disappear with them. Art is timeless, isn't it? That's the great thing about music, is it captures a certain emotion, milestone, part of your life, and we get to enjoy the raw story, the raw emotions. I definitely felt that one. Now, first of all, your voices together sound amazing as a duet.
Oh,
What are some great reference tracks that you brought to your producer in terms of perhaps records that you were referencing?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tricky question.
I'd say a bit of
Yeah, I don't
Fleetwood
know.
Mac, maybe, and
Possibly. We kind of fell down that sort of old-timey Americana rabbit hole for a while.
right.
I quite like a lot of sort of the singer-songwriters over that way. And I really like there's Jeffrey Martin, Jeffrey Foucault. I've come across Lou Hazel. He's he's a new one for me. He's pretty good. So yeah, good.
And you, Joe?
Yeah, same. I mean, I was a big Dolly Parton fan, but you'd never tell it from our music.
Well, of
But,
course, Dolly, the great storyteller.
Yeah, who's not a Dolly Parton fan?
Who isn't? Yeah, for sure.
But Foy Vance as well. I really liked his sort of storytelling through song, especially in his earlier first 2 albums in particular. He's an Irish singer-songwriter.
I love good Irish music. I was in Ireland for I would say 5 weeks, and my favorite memory is singing songs on a bus trip with a bunch of Irish people. There was one guitar, and we're having a great time. It was a 5-hour bus ride too, so I think we were going to Germany or something like that. But it was one of my favorite times.
Yeah.
Well, not Ireland to Germany. That's not quite right. But we were traveling around Ireland. But yeah, good times. Well, so you're settled now into the South Island. How's that all going for 2025? Because the reason why I ask is it looks like you're very, very active over there in terms of gigs. Tell us about your year roundup in terms of performing out there.
Yeah, we usually sort of wind ourselves down over winter, but this time around it's just sort of kept ramping up for us. So there's no complaints there, though.
I think venues in general like duets, because it can cover a good repertoire. But in terms of original music, I mean, what's the percentage rate with? I'm sure you do covers too, considering that you get booked a lot. Or maybe it is. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's all originals. Tell us sort of like your set list at a typical venue.
Oh yeah, we'll maybe cut about a third of the songs, quarter to a third, often hours. You kind of got to read the room a bit though.
Yeah.
Especially because we're quite good at writing a reasonable, disjointed and melancholic song. And if somebody's enjoying their dinner and you don't really want to bring them down a little, but then the listening room might enjoy that a bit more. So
awesome.
Yeah. Somebody's out having a...
If there's anyone that wants to check you live, is there any upcoming events in the next couple of weeks that you're allowed to share?
Oh yeah. Let's have a look at the calendar.
What we've got next week. Because we've actually got this weekend off, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's the first one in a while.
So on the 12th, we're at Booze in Christchurch City at 8:00. And then on the 13th, we're at the new Two Thumb Brewery have got a new spot in Redcliffs. And we're playing there on the Sunday afternoon at 2:00.
You can check them out, thewaxbirds.com, a very lovely, well laid out website, I might add. I would say that we're about 165 episodes in. Strangely enough, there's only like 10% of musicians have a website, and for a radio host, it's great because I can just read off that, So it's amazing. Really beautiful.
It was it.
Yes.
It did always make me grit my teeth though, because they're getting more expensive at websites.
I know.
But it's quite nice to have. We end up.
Have you seen the price of milk? I remember back in the day when milk wasn't $6, it was $2. Yeah. Old man talk right here. But yeah, no, I can relate to that for sure. I mean, we have our own website too, so domains, everything. I've had to be a bit strategic. I used to back in the day. Have 6 domains when the economy was good. Now I'm like 2, down to 2. I'm like really strategizing things. So I'm sure you're the same too. But it seems like you're a clever duo, a clever bunch, very talented too. And those venues wouldn't be booking you time in, time out every weekend if you weren't. And I'm for one very excited. True. Yes, I'm for one very excited to have you on the show. So. Kiwiradio.nz, we do this every Tuesday night. We have the Waxbirds this evening. They're based in the South Island. They do rate original music as well, and that's what we love. Southern Empire is the next track. Was this about coming from Yorkshire and taking over South Island of New Zealand, or is this a different kind of Southern Empire? Tell us the story.
This one was, we got invited to go down to Gore to the Songwriters Awards, the MLT Awards, as finalists for that last song. So yeah, we got invited down to that for the song Co-Parent. and we had to stop partway. Was it on the Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We found a little backpackers in Oamaru, and it's like, oh yeah, it says it's nice and quiet, and it was not quiet. You've got flipping clock going off every quarter of an hour. You've got trains rattling through the town. You've got people shouting outside. It's like, so you've then facing a 20-hour day the next day, running on about 3 hours sleep. You're just a bit shaky in the car with a coffee, and it's dark. It's like a few lines. I'm like, Joe, write these down, because we've got to make something good of this bad night's sleep. And that's kind of where this song came from.
Nice. Anything to add there, Joe? Reminiscing back to that.
No, not really. It sounds about spot on. Yeah, it was a horrific night's sleep. And I always feel bad telling that story, because it's nothing against the town of Oamaru, but we were just so desperate because we knew we had such a big day the following day. So,
True,
yeah.
Very hard-working musicians, and I love to see that. Very talented indeed. Southern Empire is the next track by the Waxbird. Go check them out. And maybe send them a DM on their Instagram, which is where I follow you guys, the Waxbirds. I mentioned you heard their music on Kiwiradio.nz. Let's get started with the second track. It is currently 7:20, Tuesday, 1st of July. Pinch and a punch for the first of the month. Yeah, Kiwi Radio.
Fluorescent breaks through the window. I hear them laughing in the yard outside. Feel like I've been running for days.
My mind keeps turning on a chorus, trying to forget we've never done this. I'm still hungry for a band on the stage.
Cold dream runs through this town all night. Oh, a clock that calls on the hour, and the quarters to. Someone's dancing on a living room floor beneath our heads, and I wonder, am I gonna get some sleep? Am I gonna get some sleep tonight? Staring walls of a cold room, I smell the ocean and the secondhand smoke. I'm so tired, but I'm ready to go.
I'll walk these streets in the dark. I'll bring you coffee when they open. There's nothing quite like trial on the soul.
Cold dream runs through this town all night. Oh, a clock that calls on the hour, and the quarters to. Someone's dancing on a living room floor beneath our heads, and I wonder, am I gonna get some sleep? Am I gonna get some sleep tonight? I watch the sunrise on the East Coast, brave the city for a book, rolling country on the South roads as we ride our luck. There's nothing heavy on the radio. Play me something brand new. 20 hours in delirium, but we'll pull through. Whoa,
You're locked into Kiwiradio.nz here every Tuesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. New Zealand time. We've been doing it 165 episodes, and we want to thank everyone for sending their music our way. If you want to be part of the show, just email an MP3 attachment to kiwiradio@proton.me. Back to our guests for this evening. It's the Waxbirds, Pete and Joe, both of them, a lovely duet from South Island. They're both on the phone right now with me, and I absolutely love this music. I can imagine myself in a warm fireplace right now, being it's winter, and just enjoying you guys in terms of your music. So well done. Now, I'm always interested to know how people are funding their records. So you've got an album, which is, these songs are part of it. The record's called A Steady Hope. Available on Bandcamp as well, if you're a Bandcamper, which I definitely am. thewaxbirds.bandcamp.com. But tell us about the process of funding this record, because it is a great body of work. We're talking about 12, 13 songs on it. So, yeah, tell us about the journey of A Steady Hope.
Funding it. we don't.
I suppose gigs. Just gigs.
Yeah, and we save a lot by recording it. We've got a little cabin at home, so we record everything ourselves there, or rather Pete does, and then the mixing, mastering. We have friends who jump on the drums, and Pete's also a really good bassist, so he plays the bass.
Yes, of course.
So it's a bit of a community sort of effort with some friends over on the West Coast.
Yeah, I know you can get real fancy, but there's a lot you can do with a bit of garage band and 2 mics.
Well, yeah, definitely. And some really good records were made like that. So for sure. And even if it's just 57 SM57 microphones, just get started with it, really. So it's really good, Pete, that you know your way around, recording, because I remember listening to a Linkin Park interview, and they said that you always need one of those people in your creative project. It does definitely, get you to the finish line.
It's what I ended up doing. It's what I did out of school.
Yeah.
Back when I finished school and went into college and did, because I were in like a little 3-piece pop punk band back when I was.
You were a
16.
punker. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Like Mohawk and all there, Pete, or?
No.
Not quite.
Definitely spikes. A bit spiky, but no Mohawks.
That is quite the turn. That is quite the turn. Cool.
But yeah, again, it's one of them where I figured it's probably handy for one of us to now sort of do live sound, bit of recording. So yeah, that's what I did. Spent 2 years making ska, pop punk and dub reggae in a little studio out over in Huddersfield in England. Yeah.
I remember the British music scene. I really love it. I was based in Hammersmith in, South London. And it was always at Camden, it was so much fun. But can you tell us the pros and cons maybe of London versus South Island, New Zealand? I know family's home, families in New Zealand now, but maybe for anyone out there, because I know a lot of musicians are traveling to London right now, the difference between UK scene and New Zealand music scene, in your words?
Oof.
It's pretty huge, isn't it? Like, we were in London a couple of months before we moved out here, and we were just so shocked, because we're from a few hours out of London originally. We were just so shocked at how rude people were.
Yeah, right.
We
it's
are
kind of like, yeah, true.
They've got no time for you at all. But
I was a barman in, is it Hackney? I was a barman there.
Oh yeah.
And they were straight.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, Scousers they called them, I think. And but that's all right. I was blind partying all the time because we had as the bar, there was Australians, Kiwis running the bar essentially. And
nice.
And there was one particular placement, they had a rodeo cow. And so every shift, after the shift, we had like free beer and drinks and that, which is a dangerous combination. I'm surprised no one went to hospital. But it was good fun. But definitely, what's your favorite spot in terms of live music? You talked about community, you talked about that. What's your favorite scene or spot in New Zealand? That would be really interesting to know.
In New Zealand? As in, what's our favorite, maybe?
Yeah, is it Auckland? Is it Christchurch? No, I'm talking more about community or city,
community
vibe.
I'd say Hokey Ticker over on the West Coast.
Interesting.
We have a lot of friends there. Yeah.
Okay. And why
There's
is
so
that?
many talented. There's just so many talented sort of hidden musicians that come out of the woodwork, but everyone's really supportive of each other, and it's just a really nice vibes over there.
You know, as a Kiwi radio station that primarily dedicates its music catalogue to Kiwi music, definitely those rural kind of out-of-town places, huge folk scene that's really underground and brewing. You know, Dunedin is really quite quirky. Like, Dunedin's like a quirky indie synth vibe, and then Christchurch is like this and that. Auckland's more, I don't know, prog, maybe metal, but yeah. There's like some awesome folk music that I've discovered recently in New Zealand.
Yeah.
What about?
We found ourselves putting a lot of covers into our set, which is more. Again, we go play the coast, and they're like, "Oh, you sound like such and such," or "Your voices sound good on this song." So we've ended up with a whole bunch of covers that, again, you present them as their covers, but you won't know them, but you'll enjoy them. So yeah, just real different stuff. It's like an education for everyone.
Education. That's interesting, because I guess you do get influenced by being on the road, right? You know, I hear of I do interview international artists every now and then. The one in particular that comes in mind is Megan Burt, who's been in she's in like Canada, and I remember she said that she purposefully visited some blues Americana, you know, black folk that just play music in their veranda, essentially. She did like this veranda tour and picked up all these blues licks, and I'm like, yeah, that is an education on the road, and you would get influenced, right? So that's really cool. Favorite genre right now? What's that for you guys? What's really? I'm
liking my old that sort of front porch finger picking. It's kind of my thing that I'm trying to work in a bit more.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a artist called? I'm pretty sure he's got a song called Hobo Low. I'm a hobo low, and I want to say it's Skinny something. Have you heard of that song? No, I can't remember. But that's one of my favorite sort of like Americana picky stuff. So Luke Hurley is a great finger picker in New Zealand. Have you heard of him?
Luke Hurley. No, I'll have to look him up.
C6 Steve.
Yeah, C6 Steve. We remember that's a hobo low guy.
C6 Steve. That's the one. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. He got so big that he actually played a gig with John Mayer. That's
yeah.
But
I remember seeing him on an episode of Old Top Gear.
Old Top Gear, really? Was he driving? Was he doing?
I think so. Yeah, and he brought one of his guitars along with him that he'd made, which was, well, he can't really call it a guitar, but it was one of the old tin things that he'd cobbled together.
Like a metal tin with one piece of string, or
Yeah, pretty much.
Pete,
I remember
carry on.
Yes. I was going to say, at the start of last year, one of our friends on the coast told us they were getting married. It was last year, wasn't it? Start of last year.
Yeah.
He was getting married, and one of his dad's favourite songs is a song by a guy called Kevin Welch. He's from America but lives in Australia now. Lost Highway. He's like, "Oh, we're getting married." Honestly, my dad would love it if you learn this song. So we learned it, and it's one of the videos that's on YouTube. And then it turns out Kevin Welch had seen it, and then when he came over, he asked us to open for him. So that was a bit nerve-wracking. Then you're playing this guy's song, and you learn about him, and he's like, just casually, "Oh yeah, here's a song that I wrote with Chris Stapleton," and it's like, flipping heck. It's like he's an awesome songwriter. So yeah, we've got a couple of his songs in our set.
What's the name of the song that he did with Chris Stapleton? Because I mean, I love Tennessee whiskey, right? So
it was A Millionaire.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out. This is an education. This is an education. Well, I could talk records and music with you too for ages, but that's what it's all about. You know, Kiwi Radio is the art of storytelling, and we love it. We love it indeed. Bell and Hall is the third and final track from the Waxbirds. Let's go with the story time here.
Yeah, there's two different story times for this one. There's
Tell both.
Sunday afternoon. Well, there's a Sunday afternoon casual lunchtime one of how it's just a nice lovey-dovey story of when we got married and honeymoon in York and just growing up in. We lived somewhere called Bell Hall, so it's kind of based off a place called Bell Hall. And it's also not in any way related to drinking too many Jaeger bombs and struggling to climb up a hill. So,
Well,
lessons learned when you
congratulations on getting married and stuff. My favorite wedding stories, because I also have a wife. We've got a kid now, and I remember we used to always go to Ponsonby and Parnell, and there was a really great covers band called the CVE. They write originals music as well. I think CVE stands for Corporate Experience or something like that. But such a fun band. We managed to we spilt 3 large on them for our wedding, and we didn't care. They were so good.
Yeah.
They were one of those what I call bandiokies, because I wanted to sing a bit of Coldplay on my own wedding, and they just knew the song.
Oh, yeah.
They just knew the song, and it was so much fun. So much fun. Tell us your favorite, and I'm sure you've done this, favorite wedding gig.
Ooh.
Weren't too fussed about the weather, but they were all just there to have a nice time. And
it's just a classic old Kiwi house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you're just in the corner of this little
Awesome.
like nostalgic living room with just a couple hundred people floating around, all dressed up in suits. It's nice.
What about your own wedding in terms of music? Did you guys sing in your own wedding? Or?
No, that was before then, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've been married. It'll be 20 years in February. So it's a long time ago.
So back then you were on beans and rice and couldn't afford
pretty much, yeah.
Essentially, so.
It was very low key, sort of just a little afternoon do.
Yeah.
My auntie, we used to have. She used her parents' backyard, and her dad made like an archway, and it was so low key. And I think they spent like $2,000 max, and that was probably the wedding dress. They got me to sing as well, because friends.
Oh,
nice.
But it was such a good night, So I think sometimes a lot of people think price tag equals successful marriage, but actually it's probably the other way around, right? If you fork out too much,
I reckon so, yeah.
It kind of destroys the relationship a little bit because of all the stress and finance. So you did it the clever way, and now you're racking it in with all these gigs, which is amazing. South Island is very lucky to have you. Well, that's the story behind Bell and Hall. Are you keen to stick around till the end for the outro?
Yeah, sure.
I think you have no choice. Kiwi Radio, I kid not, I kid, of course. Kiwi Radio, this is the wonderful Waxbirds. Go check him out. TheWaxbirds.com.
In old Yorktown, you were mine, and I am yours for a while. The north wind blows, and we catch fire till we burn up all our clothes.
You dance all day, I talk all night. You slowly close your eyes. You call my name with a smile. I find my tongue is tied.
Are you holding on to
Me or too far,
hoping we won't break?
free to move.
I'm holding on to you,
You are
holding loose.
You walk the streets, I climb the walls. At the gates of Bell and Hall, the north wind blows, cold draws close, I'll take your arm, then take you home. Are you holding on to me? You're too far, hoping we won't break free to move. I'm holding on to you, holding loose. Fight a war, strike a pose, sing one last song, then end this show. I can't let you in, I have to go. I wish you well on Savile Row. Are you holding on to me, hoping we won't break free? I'm holding on to you, holding loose. Are you holding on to me? You're too far, hoping we won't break free to move. I'm holding on to you, holding loose.
You're listening to Kiwiradio.nz, proudly sponsored by Musician Buddy app. Go check it out. It's a free download on iPhone and iPad. It connects musicians with audiences. Musician Buddy, thanks for sponsoring today's podcast. Back to the Waxbirds. You can check them out on thewaxbirds.com, Instagram as well as the Waxbirds, and of course they're on Bandcamp. Go buy some music, check them out. They're a very cool duo here from New Zealand. Well, it's the tail end of the show. We made it. Pete, a very beautiful recording. I have to ask, you obviously know what you're doing in terms of recording. We want to get a bit nerdy, if that's okay. The tone of that guitar, very well done. Is it a ribbon mic, or what's your favorite mic to kind of record acoustic guitar? Where do you place it as well?
Our main mic at the moment, we bought an Ear Trumpet Labs mic. Have you come across those? Like a lot of your sort of Americana bluegrass people, they brought in that whole sort of stand around one mic feel, and they've kind of got a bit of a steampunk feel going on.
Yeah.
They're made by like a father-daughter duo out in Portland.
So is it like omnidirectional? So it records the whole room like a full circle?
No, I think that's more is it cardioid?
Cardioid, yeah, cardioid. So more of the front. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we use that for live, and honest sound guys are like, it's one of the best sounding mics we've heard.
What was it again?
And can't believe how well it works in a live space. So we've just got that, and just like a cheap, couple $100 Rode mic.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a cardioid as well, but it's more like a fat pencil.
Yeah. I think I know the one.
Bit unorthodox, but yeah, it's a M300. I can't remember, but it's just those two. And I remember I tried a few different positions, somewhere between 24 and 48 inches away.
Yep.
And sort of one. Did I cross him? I think I might have crossed him. So one's pointing towards the body, and the other's at 12th fret. Sort of try record a bit like that.
Yep. Nice. Yeah. And, I have to say, well done. And special mention to, is it the fiddle or a violin? I'm pretty sure it's a fiddle, right? Who's playing that? Because that's pretty good.
He was, that was like an outsourced thing. Was that through Fiverr?
Fiverr, yeah.
Do you remember?
Holy moly, yes, I remember Fiverr. Wow, good find. Well done.
So there was a fiddle player that played on the very first album that we did on Dover Cliffs, and she was brilliant, but I couldn't find her again, so we tried somebody else.
Yaron Swid.
Yeah, Yaron Swid. So
where are they based?
Was it Poland?
I can't remember where he's from.
Polish, somewhere in Europe, huh? That's cool. That's such a cool advancement in music technology, isn't it? The fact that you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's been pretty fun. Sort of find people and see what they can bring to it.
Yeah.
And then the drums were just recorded. Rick Hetherington over on the West Coast, he's got a little container house. So we, again, 3 mics on his drum kit set up in there with my MacBook and just recorded his drums.
I mean, I've recorded drums too. I'm actually a big fan of minimalist microphones with drum kits.
Yeah.
First of all, like phase issues, less of that. But yeah, you can definitely create a good sound. What drum kit was it? Was it Ludwig or Yamaha or Pearl? Or
He's got a nice Gretsch kit.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, I remember back in college, the best drum sound we ever got was the old AKG. Was it a D112, the big egg kick drum mic?
I've got one of those. Yep, the egg mic.
Oh,
yep.
Nice.
Where do you
and
put
then
that?
Just 2 pencils. That's in the kick.
Inside.
And then 2. I think they were little Neumann pencil mics.
Yeah.
That were kind of, one was just up between the tom, hi-hat, and snare, and then the other one was up between the floor, tom, and ride.
Wow.
And we used to just only use those 3 and get a pretty good, sort of nice, close sound off that.
Wow, impressive. Usually some engineers, they go like full on. It's the snare always gets like a lot of mic love for some reason, because I don't know, maybe we've got people that are obsessed with snares. But yeah, no, thank you for the education. I always, for someone who records as well, it's always great to have like a nerdy section for those that want that part. And there definitely is when people listening to this podcast, because we want to inspire other creatives too, and get, share each other's tools and tips and but very...
We pumped everything through eMastered as well. Have you come across eMastered?
No. Is that a piece of software or what?
Yeah, so you pay like a monthly subscription for like $50 or something, and then run all the tracks through, and it just helps. That's where AI is good.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of reads a style of stuff.
Yeah.
It's similar and how it's tweaked.
My favorite AI tool is actually EQ matching.
EQ?
Yeah, EQ matching. So IK Multimedia do that. But I do all my mastering in-house. What I do is I use one called Lursen Mastering Console. I think I might have paid $100 or something like that. It wasn't like overly expensive, and I got it on sale. But I'm a bit cheeky. Whenever I do a record, the last one I did, I hired a senior engineer who does like major artists with Sony, and I asked him to mix and master the lead 2 songs. And then what I would do is I'd use EQ match to kind of like match his style, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's brilliant.
And so I say it's because it's like $400 a pop to get this guy, per song.
Yeah.
And instead of doing it for like 10 songs, I only paid for 2. And so there's little tricks of the trade there for sure. But
I like that.
Yeah, and, but I definitely will check out eMastered as well. I actually have it here. If you're interested, it's emastered.com by the sounds of it. And so you just upload it there, and wow, that's really cool. I'm going to definitely bookmark that and maybe give it a go at some point.
You can do it on the front of their website where you just do it for free just to see what the difference is.
Just to kind of see, interesting. Awesome.
But I needed some of that was easy and didn't cost me a lot of money because I don't have a lot of money to put into that.
Pete, I think we need to do a masterclass with you where we just do a recording. If you're ever in Auckland, I actually invite kind of like once a month because of my schedule, people to come join the studio. I'm based in North Shore in Auckland, and I've been telling people Wednesdays like midday is my only time. But keep that in mind. I'd love like a master course or something. Maybe do. You seen those YouTube videos where they just kind of sit behind producing a track, and it's really interesting how they made the record. Do you watch a lot of that, Pete?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, again, usually around the time of recording, I'll end up sort of just rabbit hole in a ton of stuff.
Have you heard of a guy called Warren Hewitt? He does Produce Like a Pro. He's one of my He's one of my favorite guys. He's like engineered for some of the great. I'm pretty sure he's engineered for like Aerosmith and stuff. And because we did on my YouTube channel a 13 episode visiting music studios around New Zealand, which is kind of like a carbon copy of his show, to be honest. And I tagged him, and he shared it on his channel, which is crazy because he's now on like 816,000 subscribers. And it was amazing. Like, I think people started commenting on one of my YouTube tours, and it went to like 12,000 views just because of that connection.
Yes.
And like what you were saying too, right? You were you covered an artist's song, and then you got to perform with that artist. Isn't it cool how the opportunities and doors that open when you're in music? You never quite know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
that's it. Now that we're this kind of age as well, you're doing it for the experience and the love of doing it, rather than when you're in school, it's all about, I'm going to be in a band and we're going to be massive. It's like, whereas I play music either way, and if people want to hear it, then that's a bonus.
Let's be the older musicians here, and it's nothing against the younger cats, because I know I was 22, and I remember, like when you're 20, you've got more ego than cups to fill, and but as you age, it definitely does. You kind of, the longevity to be to be doing this thing for such a long time, you need to be doing it for the right reasons. And and what the disturbing trend that I see from younger musicians is they might record 1 or 2 songs, and I get it because it's expensive to record, but then they'll post the same song and like do lip syncing to it. They'll just do it every day, like for like 90 days in a row, and I'm like, okay, we get it. And but what's your advice maybe to creating a bit more focus and longevity for younger musicians? Any one of you could take this question, positive too.
I would be terrible. I'm terrible at just keeping the social media up to date, and I can't think of anything worse than putting myself out there with selfies and stuff in front of the camera every day. But if that's how someone is, then do it by all means, but just stay true to yourself and don't fake anything for anybody.
You got to do it because you love it. You got to think, if you're going to show up every week and still play to like an empty bar room, would you still love it? Then it's just something that you were made to do.
Yeah. I think Sorry.
One of my favorite guitarists, I'll say it again, he's been on the podcast. You need to check out Luke Hurley. I think his first recording is a song called Mona Lisa, and he recorded it in the early 80s, and he's just been making records non-stop. He used to busk on Queen Street, Auckland, a lot. And that's how I found him, actually. And I interviewed him, and he said, you just got to... I said, what's your best piece of advice for musicians? He's like, play till your fingers bleed, essentially. Like, play till they hurt. He just, 10,000 plus hours. And that's how good he is with fingerprinting. Like, just the most amazing virtuoso.
I've downloaded 2 of his albums to listen to tomorrow, now that you've mentioned it.
Go check out Mona Lisa. I love that song. I need to tag him at the end of this, because I kind of promote him every now and then. Really cool guy. Like, it's kind of like right up your alley. Like, I think you will like him. Wow, it'd be great if you actually gigged with him. That would be even better. But yeah, I think if I'm going to answer my own question, if my piece of advice to any musicians out there, rather than like posting selfies every day in, day out of the same song, really focus on the craft of songwriting. I'm talking about, and John Mayer said this, he would listen to radio and he would ask himself, why do millions of people love certain songs? Is it the structure, the A, B, C, D section of, is one of the things I noticed is, because I like to write, radio friendly, I like to, around the 30-second mark, come up with like almost the pre-chorus, and then I almost want to get to the chorus within 1 minute mark. Jason Bloom, I did a weekend workshop with him. If you're not sure, he does the songwriting with Britney Spears. Hey, hit me, baby, one more time. And one of my favorite quotes that I heard from his masterclass was, the song Baby One More Time? It starts with dong, 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 right?
Yeah.
First 2 or 3 seconds, you recognize the song. I love that. Like, I love that idea of, it's either a lick or something that's just really, really memorable. The catch, the elevator pitch.
That was on Motown documentary. He talked about that, where it's the first few seconds, and every Motown hit was like that.
Yeah.
They had their own. Each one had its own little hook at the start, and you had to,
I mean, look at Elvis Presley. You know, he doesn't overstay his welcome. A lot of his songs are like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like number one hits, of course. You know, like they're all like 2 minutes,
Yeah, well.
2.5 minutes. But yeah. Anyways, there you go. There's a bit of motivation for you for any other creatives listening to this podcast. Unfortunately, we've actually reached the hour where we're just kind of like 4 or 5 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Again, if you're listening to this on replay or in the future, today's date is 1st of July, 2025. I am with the Waxbirds, the lovely Pete and Joe. They are based in South Island. So if you're in the South Island, please try and catch one of their gigs. And I think you'll really have a good time. But to close off the show, is there anything you need to plug or wish to plug or say as kind of like the closing curtain call?
No, we could plug the new venue. There's a Renegade Brewery in Christchurch that's owned by a lovely couple, and they've only been going a handful of weeks. And we're playing there on the 27th of July, Sunday afternoon, like 3. That's a 3 till 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a nice cruisy one. Brews all his own beer. I'm plugging it for them. Yeah.
Good
It's
on
a great
you.
spot.
I've given them a follow, and I do love the local breweries. You know, I think is there a favorite brewer or sort of beer or anything like that you recommend that's Kiwi made? You can't say 40. You can't say 42 below vodka though, because.
No,
we're
really lucky because we get to drink all the lovely beers at the breweries that we play at.
Yeah.
I really like, what's the one from OGB with the fella's face on it?
Yeah, I thought it was like Robbins.
And there's also Two Thumb. Their Yorkshire Bitter is obviously very good.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a. I don't know, like what's the one with the lemon, and I want to say it's Soul something. I'm kind of like the sweet kind of beverage guy. But one of my best and worst experiences was, I think, going back to Ireland. I did do the Guinness experience, and I did not have a good time. I thought it was so bitter. I thought it was so bitter, and we paid so much for the entry fee, and I'm like, really?
Your favorite drink at the moment was OGB's, is mainly an outdoor-based restaurant just behind the cathedral in Christchurch. Because it's winter, they do a hot buttered rum. That is delicious.
Really, really good.
And finally, because I'm a bit of a foodie, best beverage to go with Maine.
Beverage to go with Maine? What are you eating?
I'm eating a lamb. I'm eating like a whole leg here.
Whole leg. Oh, I don't know. See, I could be a bit of a pork fiend if I really wanted to. But it's quite a lot. That's keeping it rich, though, isn't it?
yeah, definitely.
For sure.
I like the slushy margaritas.
Mocktails. I actually love my mocktails. I'm a whatchamacallit, Sex in the City kind of lady, you know, with my mocktails, high heels and all. I don't know. People, guys are like, oh, what do you drink? And I'm like, mocktail, baby. No, not that really. No. Anyways, I actually don't drink much at all, to be honest. I'm more of a soda guy. But so it's interesting for me to go off in this tangent. But I think the reason why I'm doing it is because it seems like you're, playing at a lot of local breweries, and I think I just wanted to plug. I just wanted to plug a local business or two. Really, I think that's where I was going. So
it's real nice that they're out there taking a punt on live music and still paying for people to come and play on the regular.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the Waxbirds will be the duo to check them out. Thewaxbirds.com. Pete and Joe Green, thank you so much for being on the show. I just want to say it's been a real pleasure. I really love your music, and I hope to hear more. And keep at it with the recording there, Pete. You're doing a good job. So are you making a new record or anything like that? Is there sort of demos brewing? Or?
It's a slow brew at the moment. I've got working titles, and then usually
Nice.
the stories come from that, and then try and keep them reasonably uplifting, but there'll be a balance.
Well,
There'll be a balance.
And Joe, lovely singing from Joe as well. So, you make
Thank you.
really good synergy and chemistry there in terms of music and partnership and all. And I just wish you continue to have fun with it and stay cool, stay creative. And I want to say, finally, thank you for being on Kiwi Radio.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Ian.
All right, well, that is it. Good night. So I'm going to hang up now and we'll close off the show, okay?
Oh, good night.
All right, thank you so much. Bye. And that is the Waxbirds. Go check them out, thewaxbirds.com. Thank you to the Musician Buddy app for sponsoring tonight's show. Go check them out if you've got an iPhone or iPad. I want to say thank you to all the artists joining in. I think we've got 18 artists on our Get Featured roster. Basically, what that means is if you've got a campaign, such as a new album, gig, or tour, we help you out with the radio ads that play daily and hourly here at Kiwi Radio and give it some new ears, essentially. So if you want to be part of that, go to Kiwiradio.nz and sign up to the Get Featured page. And it really is a win-win because you help out an indie station like Kiwi Radio. Well, that is me. Thank you so much. I will be back next Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m. New Zealand time. Check us out on Instagram.com/Kiwiradio.nz as I'll be inviting one or two guests to come perform in studio. Check out the performance that we just had with Amelia Power. She's a lovely artist here in Auckland. And yeah, there's some good content there on the YouTube channel at Kiwi Radio NZ. That's all from me. Good night. Stay cool. Stay creative. See you next week.